I really like that because I do delegate, and I want to delegate the right things. Because you've also said you can do a lot of things as long as you're willing to delegate.
And you can accomplish anything if you don't care who gets the credit.
And you don't care who gets the credit, which is really good too. And I want to do that. I have a lot of dreams. I have a lot of different things I'd like to do. So I'd really like to get in on that.
Why do you like the dreams? We have a few more questions that we'll sort of pile on, and maybe when you hear them all, then your answer can be more well-rounded.
Okay.
Why do you like to dream? And why do you enjoy expansion? And why do you feel this passion? What's it all about anyway? It's for the joy of it. Do you want to dream so that the dream can affect something, so that you can have a response, a emotional response to what you've affected? Or do you like to dream just because dreaming feels good?
It just feels like life to me. It just feels like life.
This is a stubborn tripping point for most people, for a lot of people. I want to understand the laws of the universe, and I want to understand my vibrational relationship with my own intentions. And I want to know where my inner being stands at all times about everything. And I want to harmonize with that. And when I do, I'll get great results. But if the great results are your ulterior motive, then you get off track right away. Did you follow that? I want to dream because it feels good to dream, and I'll get good results. But if I want to dream in order to accomplish something, then in moments of contrast and me taking score of the accomplishment factor, I stop dreaming and it all bogs down. You want to create because you're a creator. That's what we said yesterday when we said focus on the creating, not on the creation. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Focus on the energy flowing, not the result of the energy flowing. So there are times that dreaming the dream just feels like the best thing you can do, and there are times when you want to just jump into action because enough with the dreaming, you want to do the tangible hands-on, get your own hands in the clay. You want to have conversations with people, and you want to cook stuff, and you want to present stuff, and you want to please people, and you want to revel together. We're not trying to get any of you into this airy-fairy world of only thinking things. If you wanted that, you would have stayed with us here where all the fairies are. Fairies of the universe. Non-physical, interested, co-creative partners. But you like the tangible too. You like your hands in the clay. We just want to help you to get your priorities in the most productive place for you.
Yes. Yes. And I do dream and conceptualize a lot of things a lot of the time. And I think most of the time I actually am in that place where I am really thoroughly enjoying the concept. But usually it's just a piece-by-piece thing until...
You know what the best combination is? It's catching a glimpse of something and it not being very tangible. It's a glimpse. But it was titillating and it felt good. It tasted good when you did it. And so you think about that, and because you think about it, it comes more often until it starts framing up to a more and more satisfying thought. And then it reaches a place where you receive an impulse. Now, we want to talk about that in terms of the platform of creation as we present it here. Life and contrast cause you to build this vibrational reality that we started with as you sat down here. And this vibrational reality is a reality that's not tangible. So most people can't see their own vibrational reality, and hardly anybody can get a glimpse into yours. But it's real. And while you can't see it or explain it to anybody, it's still in the intangible form. It's real, and you can feel it and sense it and come to know it and adore it. And it can give you life, and you can give life to it. You can accomplish a relationship with your vision, with your dream, with your desires. And in doing so, hear this, it's not only your attention to it that causes it to expand. The law of attraction causes it to expand, because when you think a thought, the thought you thought thinks. So you set something in motion just like a seed in the ground, and there is life force and life properties in your idea in every much as a way as the kernel of corn that you put in the ground. So it's taken off whether you give your attention to it or not. But your satisfaction factor is really improved as you give your attention to it. And your readiness to receive it into reality is improved by your attention to it. And most significant of all, your pleasure factor is enhanced off the charts, because as you think about it and dream about it before there is anything tangible about it, as you did and as you continue to do, then as you hold yourself in a place of non-resistance, so your vibration rises, so that you are in a really steady way, in a chronic way, you are chronically vibrationally equivalent to your dream. That is the ultimate state of being to live in, to be vibrationally equivalent to my dream. That's your optimum state of being, because that's what that expectation is that we were talking about earlier. When you are vibrationally equivalent to your dream, that feels the very, 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 very best, because you're standing ready to be surprised and delighted at every turn. So now as an idea comes, it's a mature idea that's already got momentum going, and it's big enough, and more important, you're ready enough, because you kept dreaming, to receive the idea and act on it. And here's the big bonus, thrilling, best part of life factor. When you consciously receive an impulse to do something, that's just from our perspective, and we have a broad perspective, and from our point of view, and we have a big point of view, and from our statistical analysis, and we've watched each and every one of you with each and everything you've ever done, we know for sure that's the bang for your buck that you're all looking for. To be consciously aware of when something about this vibration begins moving toward the tangibility. When thoughts start turning into things and you are consciously aware of it, that is the best part of life. So now let's come around to what you presented to us, the state of being that you're in. So you've already done that. You've already received the impulses. You've already acted on so much of it. What we want to say to you is that putting more in the vortex and being a vibrational match to more never ever stops. That's that eternal incompletion that we are talking about. So if we can convince you, or if you can get a glimpse that what you're reaching for, contrast, you don't have to even do anything about. It's going to present itself to you. That's not really your work at all. Source is going to line up with what you are asking for, and universal forces are going to come into being, and cooperative components are going to be gathered all over the place. So there's so much of this that really isn't your deliberate work to do. So what are we asking of you? What is your deliberate work to do? To savor. Your deliberate work is to savor. And before you can savor, your deliberate work has to be to put yourself in a position where you can savor. And before you can put yourself into a position where you can savor, you have to feel how sucky it is not to savor. The bigger your life gets, then the bigger your life gets. The more savoring you have done, the more savoring you have the potential of doing. The better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. The more you are alive, the more alive you become. Until after a little while, you just have this invincible feeling, and then your question is primarily, most of the day, most of the time, what you're consciously saying to yourself is, now what? And you don't mean, now what would I do to save the world? Or now what would I do to feed the world? Now what will I do to make myself feel a little more alive in this segment and this one and this? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? And not one of you ever means, now what can I do a little less good feeling than what I've already lived? Because there's no regression. You can't go back. You cannot go back. It's now what? Now what? Now what playful thing can I do? Now what satisfying thing can I do? Can I dream? Can I dream? You are beings, not doings. But oh, beings who are inspired to do.
Yeah, it is delicious. In my first business that I started, it's almost impossible to describe the feeling that I felt when there was a big line of people in front of that little food truck, and it just felt like the culmination of so much of that desire and that satisfaction. It was also really intense on the other side, stressful time in my life. but in this other
Fast-moving
point-
energy feels better than slow-moving energy. And that balance, you started to ask that question earlier, that balance of intensity with ease, that's that balance that you got to find. You can't be really good at walking the high wire if you're afraid while you're doing it. It's got to be intense and secure at the same time.
I want to do some backflips up there, though.
Yeah.
And do some cool
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I really liked that conversation.
So did they. It was very beneficial and very practical conversation.
Thank you.